Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hey, fine folks, this is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. I'm feeling hot. It is November the 9th, 2024. We have a jam-packed call for you tonight. I'm going to jump into it because we got a lot of good information, and we have some very, very inspiring people that you're going to hear from tonight that are members. So we're going to jump into it. Let's get into some prayer. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be here together one more time. Father, we know that there are certain members that have family and friends that have transitioned and passed on. We ask that you give them peace of mind as they are bereaving their loved ones. We know that certain members are also dealing with some medical issues. And we ask that you allow your healing angels to surround them as well. We ask that you give them also the peace that they need to continue on in this journey. We ask that you cover everyone on this call, no matter where they're listening to this call from, no matter when they even listen to it. We ask that you give everyone the comfort, the understanding, and the knowing to continue on this journey for this blessing that you have bestowed upon us all. And we ask you in your precious name. Amen. All right, folks, let's jump into, we have some quick announcements. Don't forget, Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room is open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is where we break down Goldilocks articles. We have a lot of fun. It's a big education room, like a classroom. And also it is absolutely where Wiley brings his golden nuggets on wealth establishment and also $1 million worth of information on establishing and maintaining wealth, especially with obtaining relationships with wealth managers. And then also, on that note, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on November the 13th, Wiley will be doing a call interviewing some members who are in different phases of the relationships that they've established with their wealth managers. Brunette Grand, PR, and Zach and Amber, they will be on the call with Wiley. He will be interviewing them, asking them questions. If you want to learn how they've established their relationships, what you may be also be able to do the same thing, that's the call. You'll be able to come and ask any questions to them or Wiley and myself, and whatever we can do to help you, we will. That's next Wednesday, the 13th, at 5 p.m. Eastern. Then on Thursday, we have the one and only Anastasia and the Higher Learning Call at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This past Thursday was the first time in 5 weeks that we had the call with Anastasia. She had a client that had stage 4 cancer, and she focused on him to help him heal. He's in remission. And this last Thursday's call was how to heal from sickness and illness. So that's next Thursday, 9 p.m. Then don't forget, we got D's room, where D drops a ton of articles daily on what's happening with the RV. And then Dave, Big Dog, the crypto finance room. Folks, if you have any questions specific to cryptocurrencies, that is the room where you go to get those questions answered. Then, last but not least, Goldilocks Global Banking News, your daily podcast, whereby we bring the facts, no fiction, no foo-foo, from Goldilocks. And as you all may be aware, the channel is growing rapidly. Thousands and thousands of people from around the world and hundreds of countries are subscribed to the channel, tuning in to Goldilocks Global Banking News. Now, tonight, we have several members that are going to be with us, that they're going to share their story of establishing the relationships, and they're at some of them are at the beginning stages of the relationships with wealth managers, aka bankers. And they're going to share their story so that you can hear for yourself what they have done, what they're doing, and you're going to love it. Then we're going to get into some articles. We're going to talk about Iraq, the port of Fa. First, we're going to talk about President Trump and the quantum financial system, which in 2018, he enacted an executive order, which actually, if you may not know, was the legal framework that is enabling the quantum financial system. That is where we will be exchanging our currencies. And then we're going to touch on currency codes. If you don't know the codes for the currencies that you hold, and if they are even active, you may not be able to exchange if you're not aware. And we'll touch on that and help educate you on that. But first, we are going to have, for members sharing where they're at in their process, we're going to have Peculiar Ram, then Light and Life, and then the one and only Tasmanian Devil, Zach and Amber. Peculiar Ram, let's jump on to you first, and then you're going to help me read the article later. But let's get into you, young lady. You here? Peculiar Ram?
Good evening. Good evening.
How you doing? Beloved, you doing all right?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing much better than I was
Good.
at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, I know you had a little rough patch. I know you had a death in the family. You had some illness going on yourself personally. It's been rough, but you sounds like you've made it on the other side a little bit.
Yeah, it's been rough. It's been like 3 deaths in the past 3 weeks, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it.
Yeah.
God is still good, nevertheless. But
absolutely.
I'm here. I'm not 100%, but I'm at like 85%. So I'm here tonight.
Your 85 is like someone else's 100, so you good.
Okay. All right, now don't get me winded up now.
Now, so I know you were kind of you've always been active in the room, but as far as establishing a relationship and taking that step to establish a relationship with the bank and the wealth manager, you kind of was lurking in the background a little bit. Then you took some steps and kind of share that with us. Where you at? And I know you got some follow up going on next week, and this week, because of the death in the family and the illness, you had to put some things off, but you've had some communication, right?
Absolutely. Okay.
Can you share that?
I'm gonna try to keep it really short. So from the beginning, I was kind of lurking in the group. I mean, I would participate when it came to all the, establishing a relationship. I would kind of get a little quiet because I was scared. I was a little nervous.
You were. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
I have a question for you. For you. You just said something that we're going to kind of pivot here. I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Uh-oh.
If you, and for those of you listening to this is for you all too, but I want to ask this to Peculiar Ram, and I want everyone listening to this to internalize it and personalize it. I just thought of it. If I told you that there was a $500,000 for you, and you had to travel 1,000 miles to go get it, would you do it?
In a heartbeat.
I love your ambition. Now, if I told you that all you had to do was to establish a relationship with this person and this person with you, and it's a professional relationship, and they may ask you some questions about what you plan on doing with the money, you know, if you're going to be a humanitarian, if you're going to help the community, whatever it is, and that's all you had to do, would you still do it in a heartbeat?
I would.
Now, if you didn't, just asking, not saying this is your situation, but if you didn't have the money to travel 1,000 miles to go get this $500,000, would you ask family, friends, you know, however, would you come up with the money, you think?
I sure would.
Now, that's what I wanted to know. And I figured you would. And I think most folks listening to this call would do the same thing.
I sure would.
You're about to tell us about your establishing a relationship with your bankers and all that. I want you to go ahead and continue. Then we're going to come back to my question about you in a heartbeat going to get this $500,000. So go ahead.
Okay, so I would say the beginning of last week. Now I had been lurking in the shadows a little bit when it came to the conversation and the topic of that.
Right.
But I have been, you know, taking notes on the side, just kind of like amping myself up because I knew I did not want to wait until it was time for the exchange. I did not want to be like that. I wanted to have a plan, and I know in order to get to execute that plan, I have to do the first step. So I couldn't just like walk in there with a plan the day of, you know. So I just wanted to go ahead and set myself up. So as more and more people were like Brunette Grand and I believe it was PR and Streambeam, as they started coming out with their stories, I was like, you know what? Like it seems easier than what I'm making it to be. It seems easier, you know, and I know I have a great personality. So I was like, if nothing else, it would just be a great conversation. Like I'm just gonna, you know, do a little bit of research. Work was a little bit slow last week. So, and I was dealing with some other things with, you know, family and the deaths of family. So I had a slow week last week. So I had a little downtime to, research. I had this one particular bank in mind. I do have my own cleaning business, but in the evenings I do subcontract myself out to clean banks in the evenings. So that's it's wonderful how my story is going to come together because this all started like last year when I just be like walking around the banks like feeling the wealth around me and feeling that energy, like man, like you know, I started trading binary options like back in 2021. So that's really what kind of got me into the motion of even investing and learning about money in a totally different way. So everything has kind of been leading me to this place. But I say all that to say, so I was, you know, I clean banks in the evenings. And so this one bank I've always loved. I've always loved the atmosphere. I always loved the people. So when it started coming down to me trying to figure out what bank I wanted to establish a relationship with and, you know, open an account with, automatically I was like, well, let me try them first. They're the top of my pick. And so, I was doing my research at the beginning of last week. Had about 2 or 3 names that I wanted to, 2 or 3 local branches, wealth managers that I wanted to kind of, you know, research. And I did that. I reached out to all 3 of them. 2 of them reached out back. One reached out back immediately. And I think that's a good sign because I really have been vibing with them. Listen at me. But I have been vibing with them. And I'll tell you why. So one wealth manager emailed me back and gave me his number, told me to give him a call. I gave him a call. He didn't answer right away, but he called me like right back within like 2 hours. And so it was a quick like 5-minute conversation. He introduced himself. I introduced myself. And I was telling him, the little backstory, like I just said about, how I used to clean that bank and everything. We kind of laughed and kind of established some kind of, baseline, I
Rapport.
guess. If I can
Hmm.
get you to laugh, I'm in there.
Right. You establish it. You got a
Um,
rapport with them.
exactly. So, it
Hmm.
was a quick 5 minutes. He was going to go to a meeting, but he did say that he wanted to set up, an appointment with me, which was my initial appointment last week. And
Hmm.
then I wasn't able to. Oh, no, yeah, I wasn't able to make that one. And him and I schedules conflicted, so we ended up rescheduling to this past Wednesday.
Hmm.
Um, and in between the time, I've still been taking notes. I've still been, talking to you guys in the groups and making sure going back over my questions that Wiley gave out and just kind
Hmm.
of fine tuning them to things that I personally want to know as well. And
Right.
so that's what I was doing until Wednesday. Wednesday came, I felt really, really sick, and I wasn't even able to really even make it to the bathroom and back. That's how
Mm.
bad I was. So
Hmm.
I was pretty much house ridden for a couple of days. So I did have to reschedule. So when I called to reschedule, his assistant, the assistant vice president, she reached back out to me and we talked on the phone. I was initially calling just to reschedule, but it ended up being a wonderful phone call, and I'm so glad that I answered. Um, she and I, we stayed on the phone for about 15 minutes, which as an initial phone call, that's pretty long because it's like a
Hmm.
lot can you can talk about in 15 minutes.
Hmm.
So a lot of the questions that I had from Wally's questions, she was answering like off bat. It was
Mm.
almost like she knew, after I told her around what the timing I was looking to come work with them and how much I was, potentially coming in with, I can
Hmm.
just tell she pepped right up. She was, telling me everything about them, telling me what they could offer me when it comes to like real estate, me buying a home, the connections they have, just asking me things that I would like as far as like what do I see for myself in the future, the
Hmm.
immediate future, 5 years, 10 years. So these are questions that she's asking, me, and I'm letting her know, um, you know, basically my goals and things. And I'm telling her I want to establish a relationship. I need a team. And she's like, oh yes, a team. That's exactly what I was going to get to. So we like both like, yeah, teamwork, teamwork. So she's like, yeah, we're going to get you a team together. We have team for everything. We have realtors. Like, trust me, like we want to get you together. And unfortunately, such and such isn't in the office
Hmm.
right now, but I'm so glad we had this conversation. She was really, really excited, as was I.
Right.
And so I was smiling the whole phone call. I really was. And then after that, I was like, this is cool. Like I'm good now. So she's like, I can't wait. I can't wait to, speak with you further. She was like, I look forward to speaking to you some more. And this is his
Hmm.
assistant. So I'm like,
Hmm.
if his assistant is like this, I'm just so excited to meet him, if she's
Hmm.
anything like him, and I would love to have them on my team. So,
Hmm.
after the 15 minutes, we got off the phone, and then she shoots me an email, like a follow-up email, like right afterwards. She was like, "Oh, hi, it was so good to talk to you, earlier. I'm so looking forward to, working with you. I'm going to reach out to such and such. He'll be in next week, and we're
Hmm.
here to take care of you." And I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, that's so good." And so, I emailed her back, a thank you and things like that. But I
Hmm.
mean, I'm still at the beginning stages, but
Hmm.
I mean, I just
Hmm.
opened up an account with this bank last
There
week,
you
and I
go.
haven't even got my
Good.
debit card yet, and I've already established a relationship. I haven't even gotten the card yet, and I've already gotten this far. So to me, it's the win.
Yeah.
Um, and so at this point now, next week, whenever he gets in, I'm kind of already pretty much comfortable. A lot of my
Right.
questions have already been asked.
Hmm.
As his assistant, she did her job. She really sold me on a lot. It makes me very excited to, want to
Excellent.
build a relationship with them.
Excellent. Excellent. And just so you know that they don't have to be the end all be all. You can still establish relationships with others as well. Um,
Absolutely.
but I love the fact that you finally took that step. And Wiley, as you know, has shared the questions and in the room every day. We're just so proud of you because you're one of the first OG tribe members when we made our transition over. You know,
Mhm.
you know, and so we're
18 members.
yes, we're so excited, and I love it because and this is I wanted people to share, even though you didn't go in just yet
Yeah.
to physically meet with them because you had to reschedule. I want people to hear your process and that the fact that you started, because a lot of people that folks may hear from these stories or have already gone in, they've already established a relationship, they already met
Right.
second, third, fourth, fifth time, but you're at the beginning stages, and I want people to hear all of the stages, not just someone meeting the second, third time, but even from the beginning, like where you are,
Mm.
because it all matters. Now, in a week or two, you're going to be at your second, and then your third, then your fourth, and then
Yeah.
then people are going to be able to see. And of course, you yourself are going to be able to see the progression, the progress between now and then. But I'm going to go back to what I asked you in the beginning about if you would go and pick up this $500,000. You said you would do it in a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
But now, folks listening to this, Peculiar Ram, you are an investor in currency. Is it? I'm going to assume that it's more than $500,000. I'm going to assume it's millions of dollars that you have invested. How much did it cost you to pick up the phone and establish this relationship? How much did it cost you to go open that bank account with this particular bank?
Nothing.
Nothing. Is it more than what you would have gone to pick up a $500,000 for 1,000 miles away?
It is.
How long will it take you when it's time for you to exchange, to go and exchange your currency with this specific bank that you've began to start and establish your relationship with? How long is it going to take you to get there, to do it?
19 minutes.
Oh, so it's not 1,000 miles?
It's not. Nope.
It might cost you a quarter of a tank or less.
$5 worth of gas.
You don't got to call no family, no friends, nobody to go.
Nobody.
And these are people that you're going to meet with face to face, and you're able to look at their background and their experience. You're able to look at the reviews on their website of the specific bank. You're able to do your due diligence and vet this particular bank.
Absolutely.
Are they a tier one?
And everything.
Are they a tier one?
Absolutely. Listen, this is solid.
Is this the bank that you sent me a DM with the name, or is it a different one?
It's the bank.
That's solid as a rock. Now, for people that are waiting for an alleged email notification from some stranger, I'm not going to say it. That might hurt some feelings. Would you rather be that person or be in the situation that you're in right now?
I would 100% want to be me right now versus any of them.
So now you have been in communication with the assistant of a vice president at a bank. So this is a banker that you're communicating with, right?
Absolutely.
Is it safe to say that you now have your own relationship with a banker, a real banker at a bank?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you say.
And you're going to be meeting face to face with these people soon, right?
I sure am.
Do you catch my drift? You picking up what I'm putting down? What I'm trying to?
I do. I got you.
Didn't cost you a dime. And if you have this relationship, and when it's time to exchange, it's going to take you 19 minutes to get there, and are you going to need security or anything like that? A disguise or something, military escort.
I might wear a different wig.
But yeah,
no, not all that extra stuff.
No, you've already begun the process. You have to worry about getting some fake text message from some fake banker on a Sunday when banks are closed to tell you anything. You have already you're above average, but you're in the sense of dinar land, you're just like everyone else here. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
And you've already began to establish a relationship with a tier 1 bank. From being in the room, getting the education, sitting back, lurking, taking notes, taking Wiley's questions, taking the education that we've given you and the members, and you got a relationship. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. It's empowering, and I'm excited. I don't have that fear anymore, so I'm ready to go in there and tell them what I want, tell them my wants and my needs. I'm good now. That initial phone call, it's like once you get on the phone with them and realize they're just regular people, that they're here to help you, like they're here for you. It's nothing to be intimidated by.
Right.
And like the gurus make it seem like there's just some high government type, entities that we can't really have access to until we get there and exchange and stuff. And it's like, no, these are regular people. We could have been done this,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what a piece of advice would you give to someone else listening to this based on now that you've taken that step? What piece of advice would you give to someone that is under the assumption that they are going to wait for some mysterious email from some high-level sources or an 800 number? What would you tell those folks?
I would tell them to first deprogram, throw all of that away, and let's deal with logic and what makes sense. And this is so much simpler than everything that they're even throwing out there. So I would tell them to just honestly look for wealth managers in their area, their zip code, and look at their biographies. I looked at the link trees. I looked at everything before I even reached out. I would tell them to do that, and then find 3, and honestly, just give them a call. Send
I think we lost you, young lady. Did you might have hit your mute button? All right, Peculiar. I think we lost you. That's okay. I see you. Okay, I see you muted and you try to unmute. You may jump out of the room and come back in, Peculiar. Jump out and come back in.
Can you hear me?
There you go. That worked. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So would you encourage them to come to the room and get educated?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in a nutshell, I honestly was just being a scaredy cat. I could have done this. It is not hard at all. Like my 13-year-old daughter probably could establish a relationship just with the questions that I give her,
Right.
because you guys set us up so good. So it's like, anybody can really just read off of a script. And just, really establish it. It's not hard at all. I thought it would be, you guys, and it's not. I feel like everybody should try to at least reach out by the end of the year for sure, and just go ahead and get it started.
Yeah.
Preparation is key, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, beloved. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know I kind of set you up, asking you about that $500,000, and I just thought about it when you were talking. But you see how you have more than $500,000 coming to you, and you already have a relationship. You hadn't spent a dime.
That's awesome. You're right.
See the difference, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome. All right, I'm gonna come to you in a little bit because you're gonna help me read some articles on Iraq and the QFS. I appreciate it. I'm gonna come back to you, beloved. Thank you so much.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. Light and life. You can unmute. Are you here? Are you here?
Hey, Freedom. Can you hear me?
There you go. There you go. How you doing, young lady?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I think, how long have you been a member of the room?
Well, I was in the previous room with you guys. So
You were?
I
Were you under a different
transferred
name?
over. I probably had a different name at that time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've changed it a couple times.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Because here in our room, in the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, your name seemed new to me. I thought you were new, but that's okay. hell, I mean, we appreciate you. We love you just the same. And I'm glad that you made the transition from the other room. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I was gonna follow you guys wherever for sure. You and Jester.
Awesome.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we were learning, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Excellent. Excellent. And I know that you've made some steps just like Peculiar Ram. Kind of give us, and I know you like to stay in the background. I'm not going to hold you long. You like to be in the back and on the low, but you've made some progress here, and I wanted to see if you can please share your steps, what you've done so far.
For sure, yeah. Well, the first thing that I did was I opened up an account at a big bank, and this was like last spring.
Okay.
'Cause I've always used credit unions, and so, but I knew, from listening that it was we needed to get a bank that had
Initially.
the ISO. Right. So, and I didn't know.
Hold on. I'm sorry, I cut you off, and you just said something so powerful, and I don't want people to miss it. What was that last part you said?
I don't know. What did I say?
Did you said ISO compliant, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought I heard you say.
Because I had credit unions. I didn't know anything about my credit unions, but I knew that the certain big banks in the area. So I did my research, and I knew one in particular was, and it was right down the street from me. So, and it happened that I would ride by every other day or so, and I saw the wealth management on the side of the door. So I thought, well, this is convenient. So, I actually I opened up an account online because I didn't know anything about this part of it yet. We weren't talking about this yet, and at that point, that was like when. I don't know if y'all had transitioned over yet or not, but so I went ahead.
Because in Old Room we started the training on establishing the relationships with wealth managers. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I before I knew any of that, I just want to put a little bit of money in an account just so I could have it there and be ready, and just enough to cover my monthly fees. It wasn't a lot. And so there it sat. And then we started getting information about establishing the relationship. And so I waited. I didn't do anything for a while. I just listened, and I just listened to the calls and then Wiley's questions. And the more I listened, the more I thought, well, at first it seems intimidating until you hear it a lot. And then the more you hear it, the more you're like, this is not hard. I can do this, and so I decided to go into the bank and meet, see if I could meet somebody. And so I didn't really know. I already had the account open, so I couldn't use that use, but it's okay. I just said I wanted to meet with somebody, and well. There wasn't, I mentioned a wealth manager. I just talked to the teller, and the teller said, well, she's not in. And she gave me a card for the lady. And she said, you can go online and schedule an appointment. So I looked at the card after I left, and the card, I think it probably was a private banker. Because it said it said the lady's name, and it said relationship manager, like you had said, like y'all had said. That's the new term or the
change,
new word.
with the title. Yep.
So that was funny. That was interesting. So then, let's see. I waited. I wasn't quite ready. I've just taken this. It's taken me time. I just have to go in little steps. So I listened some more, and I decided that because I went online to try and schedule it, and they were asking. It asked a lot of questions. It wanted to know how much money. Is it this much or is it that much? Is it And I'm like, I don't know, and I didn't want to say. So I called the 800 number instead, and the person on the line wanted to know how much, and so I just said, he said, is it like 25,000 or 100,000? It matters. And I said, okay, well, it's probably going to be more than 100,000. So I guess that's why he wanted to set me up with somebody relative to that. So he gave me a fella's name in my area and told me that he would call me. And so I had enough time to look this fella up. I got his name, you know how he spelled it, and I looked him up on FINRA, the FINRA site.
Yep.
And I felt good about it, about what I saw. And, you know, everything seemed to be good. I will say this, where I work, I work in like the field of like mortgage and real estate.
Yes.
And someone had come into my office, vendors come in, and
Okay.
this one fella came in with his card, and he was a wealth manager.
Okay.
And he's trying to get some business, you
Mhm.
know, and
Private?
I held on to yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so I went and looked him up, and this was, you know, months ago, but I did look him up on the FINRA site, and he's clean, but he's young and hasn't been in for about maybe
He's
I think
clean,
it's like,
but he's young. Okay.
I think you know, he hasn't done a whole lot, and he's got all the you know, he's done everything he's supposed to do, but just hasn't been in the business for, I think it was like 3 years.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to keep looking. You know, it'd be nice because he's on his own and he was nice. But so anyway, there's that. You just have to consider everything, you know. It's just neat that I was even aware of the FINRA site, you know. I mean, it was like, okay, I can look this guy up and see what he's about. So anyway, yeah, so I met up with the fellow, the wealth manager called me, and we made an appointment, and I went in to meet with him, and he was nice, and it was fine. I mean, I had all my questions there, and
the questions from Wiley.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I was pretty nervous. He was really nice, but I was nervous. I felt like, you know, like I didn't have much money in my account there. And I'm thinking he's probably going, what? Why are you here? You know, and I just said, I am expecting, you know, an inheritance. So, and I can't say, you know, when. It's just, you know, he didn't pry too much, but, you know, they are curious and they want to know. But I was still kind of intimidated by that, I guess. So, but we went over the questions. He was real nice. He answered them all, but he was very general in his answers. So I didn't get as detailed of answers that I would have, that I'm going to try for next time when I do this again.
That's fun. That's fun.
You know, the more I hear, like Peculiar Ram and, you know, and Brunette, Granny, and the more I listen, the more I'm learning to be able to fine tune my questions and feel like more like the ball can be in my court.
Exactly. You know? That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear. Yes. And I was just getting ready to ask you, like, who's the boss in this situation? It's you. You are the one that will be interviewing them, not them interviewing you. And it's all a shift in your energy and a shift in your approach. You did fantastic. And this is why the community and the tribe is so empowering, because you can learn from, like you said, the Peculiar Rams, the Brunette Grands. You can learn from the Glass Half Fulls, the Zach and the Ambers. Yeah. You can learn from, you can learn from the Harves. You can learn from the Trishas. You can learn from so many people in the community that had that same possibly approach that you have, and they turn it around and they in total control and got a team of people at big banks and also private wealth management firms that you know what I'm saying?
That's I'm going to check out. What I did was I went on the FINRA site.
FINRA.
I put in, what is it?
FINRA.
Okay. I put in my zip code and found that there's really more, I don't just have to go to that big bank for the wealth management.
There's private out there as well.
Yeah. So
and that's what Harv did.
Okay.
Are you? What I need to do, I need to share with you Harv's, and send me a DM, and I'm going to send you Harv's the episode where Harv shared what Harv did. She went to a big bank at first. She didn't like the responses that she got. She ended up going to a private wealth management firm, and she has her whole entire wealth management team through that private wealth management firm, from the CPA to the attorneys, to the wealth manager, all in-house through a private wealth management firm.
That is fantastic. That's what I'm trying to get at, but I feel like it's like pulling teeth.
No, it's just a process. It's just a process.
Just with this particular situation, with this one person, he's nice, but I'm not feeling the warm fuzzies.
You don't have to. I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. Just follow me when I tell you this. I'm gonna tell you what I would do if I were you. I'm not gonna give you advice. If I were you, I would meet with him. I'm just giving you, and just follow what I'm saying. I would meet with him, and I would pick his brain. I would establish a relationship with him, and I would find out what he knows. Because I would take that information, take my notes, and take the information I get from him, and then go and establish a relationship with another private wealth management firm based on the information I got from him.
Yes. Okay.
It's called in the banking world. It's also in the military. It's called a reconnaissance mission. But in the banking world, it's something that when I was in the international banking, we would do the same thing. We would do reconnaissance missions with people, with clients. If there was information that we wanted, we would ask them questions. We would do our due diligence, knowing that we had no intentions on doing business with them. And then we would go to another firm, another entity, and do business with them based on the information that we got from A. We would take it and go to entity C and D.
That's good, because the more information you have, the more leverage you have.
That's the more leverage you have, and it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal against the young gentleman that you considered that had Similac behind his ears, on his breath and wet behind his ears. He's young. You say he's 3 years experience. Okay, that's fine, but he's still valuable for information that you're going to take and utilize to go to the next step of the next firm. That's all. He serves his purpose. God is putting him in your path for a reason, for a benefit for you. Does that make sense? Did we lose you light in life? You had a peculiar RAM moment. You're going to have to try to unmute. There you go. I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Does that make sense what I said to you?
It does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, see, God puts people in front of you throughout this. And folks, listen to this. Every particular person you come in contact with, God is putting them in front of you for a higher purpose. Do not dismiss someone because of their age or lack of experience or anything like that, or their political affiliation or anything. Don't dismiss them. They are put in front of you for a greater purpose.
Okay. Good.
Okay. And you had the nerve to tell me in DM, the nerve, that there was a bank that is far from you, that also that you can deal with. And I asked you how far. You said, they're downtown. I said, what? I said, what? Lo and behold, I shared with you that particular big bank is, you heard some other members talking about their amazing stories and how they're on the contact list for exchange. And yeah, it's, you may want to reconsider. You might want to make a trip downtown.
I am. That could be worth a trip. Yeah.
I couldn't believe you said they're far. I thought you were going to say like they're 2 hours, 3 hours away. You said, "Oh no, Freedom, they're just downtown." I'm like, what?
My downtown is.
Oh my God! So, do I need to ask you the same question I asked Peculiar Ram? If there was $500,000, would you?
Sitting down, talking to her. I was like, he's talking to me.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Awesome. Well,
I'll check them out. I am going to
all
check
right.
them.
Good. We're proud of you, and we're here for you. Anything you need, come to the room, ask your questions. We're glad you made that step. You're on your way. And I wanted people to hear your story as well, because just like Peculiar Ram, you're at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's very important for people to hear that so they can know, okay, you took the first step. You crawled. Now soon you'll be walking, then you'll be off to the races running. Just like Brunette Grand, just like Glass Half Full, just like the rest of them, just like Lady Unique and Garlic String Bean and the rest of them.
It's true. It does feel good. Like Peculiar Ram said, it's empowering, definitely.
Yes.
It's
awesome.
good to have started, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's the process of it. So
absolutely,
every little bit you're learning,
That's right. That's right.
Moving forward. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for everything.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, beloved.
All right. Talk
Zach.
to you later.
All right. Zach Amber, are you here? Are you here? Let's get you on, and then we're going to jump into these articles, and we're going to get into some Iraq. We're going to get into some World Trade Organization and some stuff going on. All right. Zach, I know if Zach is here, Amber is here.
I am right here. Hey.
There you go. We're still praying for you, young lady.
Yes, I'm feeling the prayers. I am feeling them, and thank you.
Good. Yes. So I know. See, folks, you guys, Zach and Amber, months ago, these are the beautiful folks that at the bank, the vice president of the bank told them that their higher ups, the Iraqi dinar is going to RV, and they got word from their higher ups. That was from Zach and Amber establishing their relationship. However, even though they had that great conversation and interaction with the VP of this tier 1 bank, they just started the process of establishing their relationship, which they're taking to the next level. And that's fine. It's fine. It's just okay, because I believe probably you and Zach did such an amazing job at the beginning of establishing your relationship. You're like, shit, we don't need no wealth manager. Shit, we already been told that it's going to happen from the bank itself.
See, we thought if we would wait after the exchange and get the wealth manager, it would be better then, because we'd have the money. We can go in there, guns blazing, bam, bam. But then it wasn't until I heard Lady Unique story, I was like, well, this is a lot of money. Maybe we should talk to somebody now. Because it's going to be a chicken with the head cut off at the time of the exchange and afterwards. So it's like, maybe we should go ahead and talk to somebody now so we can feel a little bit more comfortable instead of waiting.
So, and I think, and I know that thing. I know you guys took that step, and you had your meeting. Was it last Tuesday? Last Tuesday or Wednesday, I think you did.
Last Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. Now, if you can share quickly with us, because I know next Wednesday you guys are going to be going in detail with your interview with Wiley on the Wednesday call. But if you can give folks this wonderful news of your meeting last Tuesday, please do share. Thank you.
Sure. So I looked them up online underneath fiduciaries near me, because I didn't know where to start. So after I saw that, I found out that my bank that I established the relationship with had wealth management. So I called and made the appointment. We went in there. He met us at the door, actually. And
he met you at the door?
Yes, he did. He met us at the door.
Yep. As soon as we walked through, he was standing right there. He turned around and looked at us. Zach, Amber? I'm like,
yes. He's like, okay, hi.
Is this the same? Is this the same VP that told you guys months ago that he got word from headquarters that the Iraqi dinar RV is happening? Is this the same person or someone different?
This is someone different. Whole different
what?
Office.
Oh my God. Okay.
Whole different office. So we went into his office and we had our questions out. We were actually calm and we were ready to go. I'm telling you, we were not scared. With Wiley's questions, we had read them over a couple of times before we went. So we knew, hey, you're working for me, not vice versa. So
That's
we were
right.
ready to go.
That's right.
luckily, he was such a great wealth manager. He had answered our questions before we even asked them.
Right. It's kind of like he started out telling us about him. And that right there knocked out about a quarter of the questions. I'm like, oh man. So so then we started asking just general questions off the cuff, and that knocked out a few more questions. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna have many questions to ask.
Right.
The questions that we did ask, he kept saying, "Wow, great question.
Yeah.
Wow, great question."
Yeah.
He said, "I've never had clients come already prepared with questions so in depth before."
Yeah, he was like, you guys came prepared. I like that.
That's awesome. So those wily questions got you guys, got your carte blanche and them opening the door for you, giving the red carpet rolled out for you, meeting you. You're getting Lady Unique. You're getting Lady Unique treatment.
Sure it was. I mean, yeah. It was wonderful. So he told us some more personal questions about his favorite book and things like that.
Yeah.
And then some of the questions that we have for him that he couldn't answer, he said he was going to follow up and talk to others in his circle, and get back with us about those questions. And he said that he has the team that we need to get us to the goals that we want to go to. And any
your financial goals.
Yes. Anybody that he didn't have working with them, then he knows somebody that he could send us to. So he got the team established.
And one thing that really stood out to me out of the whole conversation, Freedom.
Okay.
He told us nothing led up to this, but he told us eventually with the way I get you guys set up, depending on how things go and where we go, you're going to outgrow me. I just looked at him. And
where did you hear that? Where did you hear that? That's exactly what Wiley told you. Told us that what happened.
I was sold right there because that told me if you say that, you have experience.
That's right.
You've seen that happen, so you have the experience to make that happen. I'm sold.
It doesn't mind that it happens either.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Wiley said. That he said very clear on the last call and the call before that. Wiley said, folks, that when you establish these relationships with the wealth managers and they begin to build your wealth, it will get to a point where you will outgrow the wealth manager and you'll have to level up to another place. And that's amazing that this is what he told you, the wealth manager.
Yes, I was sold right there. Plus he comes from an education background.
He was a teacher.
Yeah, that was a plus also. And that right there told me that he's all for learning, which all the new laws and regulations coming into play, he won't have a problem learning that and becoming abreast on all that. So that was another bump.
Right. That's awesome. So excited. So y'all the OGs. We really excited about y'all the OGs. Y'all were one of the very few. Yeah. That is really so awesome.
Him too was that he followed up. He sent us emails. He's called, and we set up meetings. And what we love about him too is that meeting him is free. It's the products that cost the money.
Yeah,
of course.
Not
that's
the
right.
meeting.
Right.
So
yeah. And we had such a hard time finding the place. He said, our next meeting in 2 weeks, if you want, I can meet you at another location that's closer to you guys, if that helps. I was like, whoa.
So let me ask you this. Was this just so I'm clear, this was a wealth manager. Was he affiliated with the Tier 1 bank that you guys connected with from the beginning? Okay. This was just an off-site location.
Right.
That you went to. Okay. Got it.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Wow. So excited and so proud of you all. How does it feel now that you guys are taking this step? How does it feel?
It's such a relief. It's such a relief to know that, hey, when I'm When we exchange and if everything is so crazy, I know who I'm going to call about 5 minutes later after we leave that bank. I already know, hey, he's already ready for us, ready to go, like double dutching. He's ready to go. Okay. Yeah,
So
I'm
hold
back.
on. So I got a crazy funny question. So Peculiar Ram, it'll take her 19 minutes to get to her location to exchange. It should take you a little faster than that, right, Amber? On the Yellow Dragon or Zim carpet.
Oh
It should
yeah,
be.
I'm
It should
going
be. It
light
should be.
speed. I'm going turbo speed here to this location. Okay, with blink of an eye, I'm a genie. All right.
Yep, she'll be.
Eye, okay, and his little thing. I'm going that fast.
She'll be on the Yellow Dragon coming from home, and I'll be coming from the direction of work on the magic carpet.
That's right. Red to go. Okay.
Y'all so silly.
Is and hard hat on, safety glasses. Yeah, buddy.
Yes,
Oh
money
man.
in hand.
We're so
Yeah.
excited for you. So I know your next follow up is going to be even better. And then we're going to see you guys, of course, with Wiley next Wednesday at 5. So I'm sure you'll get some golden nuggets even on that call that you can take to be prepared for your next meeting with this gentleman.
Looking forward.
Looking forward
Awesome.
to it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're so proud of you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Let's go. Peculiar Ram. We're going to jump into these articles. The first one, Peculiar Ram, I'm going to run through real quick. This is going to be on the QFS, and then I'm going to come to you on the next two. All right, so we're going to get into it. Folks, of course, we all know by now that Donald J. Trump was elected the 47th president. I dropped into the room something real quick because Goldilocks is sharing some information we're going to get into here in a few minutes on the quantum financial system. For those of you who may not know, and just so that you're aware, anyone and everyone that's listening to this call, if you want to learn from the people that you've just heard or other members who have established relationships with wealth managers at tier 1 banks. So these are real bankers. The link will be in the description for you to come on in, join the room. You can ask questions to Wiley, myself, the other members. It is literally a community in a tribe of people that we will wrap our arms around you with love and show you the way. It doesn't matter what channel you come from, what room you're a part of. Anyone and everyone is welcome as long as you come in peace and come with love. And then you're more than welcome to come on in. And we will help you. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. We will help you to establish the relationships, just like the folks you just heard from, to do the same thing. You deserve it. This is your blessing, your inheritance. This is meant for you, for what God has put in store for you. If you feel a fear or concern, you might be outcasted or bullied in another room because you come here and we teach you. Don't. You come on in, and if they bully you somewhere else, come on in and we'll wrap our arms around you and make you feel comfortable too. Don't worry about it. We'll protect you. We'll protect you with love and information to help you to be prepared for your exchange. So you're all welcome. I just wanted to tell you that. And the link will be in the description where you can join us at no charge. Come on in. It's just wipe your feet at the door. Don't bring no dirt when you come into the room. That's all we ask. All right. So I'm sharing real quick. In 2018, President Trump, he wrote an executive order that was signed into law, and it's the National Quantum Initiative Act. In summary, this was the technical framework that was really the beginning of putting together the legal framework of the quantum financial system, which is absolutely the system that we will be exchanging our currencies in, because it is the new banking system. It's the new banking system that all banks, all currencies, all precious metals medical field, in different industries, ports, customs, borders, they're all connecting to the quantum financial system. Every level of government in the United States to the quantum financial system. And so when Trump issued this executive order, and it was signed into law, passed by the Congress and the Senate, and the information is right there that we dropped into the room so you can see the proof for yourself. This is when we have Trump that is now back in office. It doesn't matter your political affiliation, and if anyone is going to get emotional, triggered, or anything like that about this, then you might want to just close your ears. But the fact of the matter is, Trump is back to finish what he started. And when it comes to us exchanging our currencies, it's going to be in the system that he started. So the QFS is not a bank account. It is a blockchain, and it's the new system that we need for which gold and other precious metals and commodities will be on, backing our currencies in order for us to exchange our currencies in the new financial system. So I'm just putting that out there for you to know and be aware of. Now we're going to get into the port of fall in Iraq, and then we're going to come back to the quantum financial system as well and make it relevant to what we are talking about. Peculiar Ram, you ready, young lady?
I am ready.
Let's rock and roll. Let's rock and roll. Let's roll and rock. If you could, beloved, if you could start from the top, and folks, this is the port of fall. This is a central hub. And for those of you who may not be aware, Goldilocks has been sharing for months and more recent, even stronger, about Iraq connecting their ports to the digital system, which is the automated system for customs and data, which is called ICE Cutter. Also, the regulations that Iraq has in the process of implementing to secure their ports into the quantum financial system, the regulations. Also know, as Goldilocks has been sharing about Iraq's accession into the World Trade Organization, and that Goldilocks reported about a month ago that Iraq has met the qualifications to join the World Trade Organization. This port, which is a central hub of trade, not only regional trade in the Middle East, but global trade. This particular port and what Iraq is doing, and now the births of the 5 births at this port absolutely 100% will be one of the reasons why Iraq is also joining the World Trade Organization, because Iraq had to go through a series of negotiations with the World Trade Organization members, which are the other 120 countries of the World Trade Organization, whereby they have ports, whereby trade, import, and exports of goods and services are coming out of other countries going into Iraq. And now Iraq has this major port that also will connect them to the Development Road Project, which is a part of China and South Korea, Asia, other parts of the Middle East and Asia, that now Iraq will have access to for import and exports. Why is that so important? To the dinar. It's very important to the dinar because, as Goldilocks has always stated, watch the water, because it is on the water through ports of a country's ports and their customs of trade, whereby that country's currency moves globally as a result of trade. And as the beginning of this year, January, all imports into Iraq must be converted into Iraqi dinar. I don't care what product from what country. If there is a product that comes through the ports of Iraq as of January of this year, 2024, those transactions are settled, and it was actually passed into law in 2023, November, December, for all of those transactions to be settled in Iraqi dinar. So now we are moving into the digital age of Iraq connecting their banking system digitally and their ports digitally. And this particular mammoth of a port digitally, this will connect them also to the World Trade Organization. And what it will do to the dinar, people will soon see once they join the World Trade Organization, the value of this particular birthing of this port. This is actually the first phase. This is not even the first phase of Iraq with this particular port. This is the next phase that is now opening Iraq to other ports within the region as well. So Peculiar Ram, if you could be so kind, beloved, I just wanted to summarize that. If you could start from the top and let's roll on down.
Yes, the formal handover of 5 berths at the Al-Fal Grand Port to Iraq is likely to increase currency demand for the country.
So that's currency demand for the dinar, folks.
As it signifies a significant step towards boosting trade and economic activity, potentially attracting more foreign investment and generating increased revenue through port operations, which would require the use of Iraqi dinars to settle transactions within the country.
Now, hold on a second, beloved. Now, when she read potentially attracting more foreign investment and generating increased revenue, this increased revenue through the ports, through port operations, increasing revenue into Iraq, folks, this increases the value of the dinar through supply and demand for Iraq. Okay, go ahead, continue, please.
Key points supporting this view: increased trade volume. A functional port like Al-Fal Grand Port is expected to facilitate a higher volume of imports and exports, leading to more foreign currency inflows through trade transactions.
And remember, Peculiar, what currency did I just state that as of January this year, when Iraq settled all the transactions, what currency will they be settled in?
Iraqi dinar.
Yes, indeed. You can continue, beloved.
Okay, let's see.
Economic diversification.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You're right. Investment attraction. I'm sorry.
Investment attraction. The development of the port could attract more international companies to invest in Iraq, bringing additional capital into their economy. Economic diversification. By enabling greater trade, the port has the potential to diversify Iraq's economy beyond oil dependence, creating further economic activity and currency demand.
Okay. Now, folks, you remember when Goldilocks has been sharing that 80% of Iraq's revenue that comes into the country is from oil. By the end of this year, the Central Bank of Iraq has already reported by the end of this year, they will be removing themselves from the electronic platform, which is the platform for the control of their oil by the United States. This port, along with them joining the World Trade Organization, opens Iraq to the world beyond the revenue of oil at 80%. Okay, you can continue, beloved.
However, factors to consider: implementation challenges. The full potential of the port may take time to realize, depending on the speed of infrastructure development and operational efficiency.
One second, beloved. So what Peculiar Ram just read by Goldilocks, folks, the completion of this port is due to be finalized by the end of next year. However, there's other parts of this port that have already been up and running and alive and moving. No, they don't have to wait until the end of next year for anything related to the dinar. They actually have already started, because it's actually been over a year to two that this particular port has been operating. They're now connected digitally to the ice cutter system. And this is the birthing, the five birthing is of the growth. So basically, this is the expansion of this particular port to the region and the world. Okay, you can continue.
Regional competition. Other ports in the region could impact the volume of trade flow through Al-Fal.
Mm-hmm.
The agreement also sets a framework for the potential investment, management, and operation of other ports, economic zones, and related infrastructure in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
The new joint venture is set to bring together the expertise of both entities to attract international terminal operators, foster trade relations, and develop commercial sea corridors in a way that contributed to Iraq's economic growth. Watch the water.
Mm-hmm. Boom. So what she just read, folks, is that in attracting international terminal operators, this is opening Iraq to international relationships with other countries that now will have access to this particular port in Iraq, so that they can ship products, goods, and services into Iraq and through Iraq, because this particular port is a central hub of trade for the region and the world. Other countries that already do trade internationally can now go through Iraq at this particular port for trade, even more cost effective, because they don't have to go over the river and through the woods to ship their goods. They can just go across the river to Iraq and it be moved from Iraq, therefore reducing cost, increasing speed. And now when those products and goods come into Iraq through this port, it will be settled in Iraqi dinar, therefore increasing the revenues into Iraq and also the strength of the dinar. So these international terminal operators, the international corridors and the countries that will be in the companies that will be trading with Iraq, also those countries will be also doing other business with Iraq, because this just opens Iraq for more countries, investors, and companies to want to do business with them. Now, for those of you who are constantly hearing about Iraq's budget and how, the budget, they're waiting for the rate to increase and the HCL and all that stuff, folks, remember, that's an operation and expense budget. The money's already in their budget to pay for the salaries, pensions, so forth and so on. You see this Al-Fal port? Projects like this are paid for not only from investors, but also from the increased value of the Iraqi dinar. There are ways financially that Iraq could pay for additional services connected to this project and others based on the future value of the dinar, without me going into grave detail of how it's done through financial instruments. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt how Iraq can do it and how they will do it as a result of this port and their connection to and their accession to the World Trade Organization. This particular birthing is just the beginning of greater value to the Iraqi dinar once they have full accession to the World Trade Organization. This is bigger than what most people may even consider. But I want to let you know that it has nothing to do with their current tripartite budget connected to this. This particular project, where it will be private money from private companies and also the future value of the dinar through trade with these countries that will do business with Iraq, because they will have contracts with countries. It could be 10-year, 15, 20, 30-year trade agreements in billions and billions of dollars, contracts signed with guarantees. Let's say if it's a 30-year guaranteed contract. Well, they already know if it's, let's say if it's a country, let's say if it's, I'm gonna just throw out a country, Russia, or let's say China, they have a 30-year trade agreement with China for specific goods and services, and it's $30 billion. I'm just using that number as an example. They can float a bond or any other financial instrument and guarantee that 30 billion, and that future value in dinars, they can calculate the potential value in the Iraqi dinar up front. It's just financial transactions that they do. I'm just giving you guys an understanding how, when I was in the banking industry, how we would structure deals 30, 40 years out, but finance them up front. This right here with the Alpha port is bigger than big. As Trump would say, it's huge. Now, this next screenshot, Peculiar, if you could read this too, appreciate it.
Okay. The Iraqi government has hired Oliver Wyman to prepare an economic study for its planned $17 billion railway and motorway project.
Mm-hmm.
The country's Ministry of Transport has selected the U.S.-based strategic consulting firm as its economic and financial partner for the planning phase of the Development Road Program.
Folks, this Development Road program, I'm sorry, beloved, this program, this project, $17 billion, is a project with China and other countries of transport. This is something they've been working on for years, and now it's coming to fruition. Go ahead.
The project aims to establish a railway system connecting the Al-Fal Grand Port in southern Iraq to the Turkish border.
So hold one second. So this is a major railway connecting to a port, the Al-Fal port. Is that what you read?
Connecting the Al-Fal Grand Port to the Turkish border. Yep.
It's a $17 billion project, folks. That money, folks, is not coming from their budget. That's private money. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. So this is money that is coming from outside of Iraq into Iraq for this project. But there's going to be, it's not in writing, but I know how these projects are structured. I guarantee you a large portion of I would say a portion of the cost of this project will come from the increase in the value of the dinar. But it's outside of the tripartite budget. I know that 1,000%. Okay, you can continue.
To realize this ambition, over 1,200 kilometers of rail tracks will need to be installed. In addition, a parallel motorway will be built to boost road transport.
Okay, that's cool. That's good right there. Now, what's the date of this article?
January 24th, 2024.
So in January, Iraq hires Oliver Wyman, and they're connected to this Al-Fal port, and the berthing that just kicked off major project in Iraq. Does Oliver Wyman ring a bell to you? This company, Peculiar Ram?
It does. They've been in the works with Iraq and meetings with them all year. Citibank, JP Morgan, et cetera, et cetera.
And Oliver Wyman, this is something that the beautiful brunette Graham brought up earlier about Oliver Wyman. Now, who's been So you was about to ask you a question that you already answered. So it was J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank. They've and Oliver Wyman. Folks, Oliver Wyman is not a person. Oliver Wyman is a global consulting company and also connected to the World Trade Organization, because Oliver Wyman Company, for most of the countries that are members of the World Trade Organization, Oliver Wyman helped those countries to qualify to become members, full accession members of the World Trade Organization. Because Oliver Wyman, as an international consulting company, knows all of the procedures, the regulations, the steps that a country must take to join the World Trade Organization. And here we have Oliver Wyman Company, Iraq hired in January, connected to this Alpha port. Now, Oliver Wyman, this company, Peculiar Ram just said they've been in the meetings with Iraq when Iraq met with the United States in Abu Dhabi in January. It was Citibank, J.P. Morgan Chase, and what other company you said? Peculiar Ram? Was it Oliver Wyman?
Did you just say Citibank?
Citibank, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Oliver Wyman, correct?
Yes, those three. Yeah.
Now, when Iraq came to the United States in April, they had a meeting with J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, and who else? Oliver. And then they came back. Iraq came back to the United States to meet with the United States Department of Treasury, the Federal Reserve, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citibank, and who else was a part of that meeting again?
Oliver Wyman.
Oliver Wyman. Folks, hope you're picking up what we're putting down and connecting these dots to see and know how important what this out. Just think about it. They've been a part of these meetings with Iraq, Oliver Wyman, J.P. Morgan, Citibank, and now come to find out they're part of this big port deal. Now, we're going to get into the last and final piece that's very important for you all to understand and know, so you know what's going on with these projects. Let's talk about SWIFT. Folks, the SWIFT system, nope, not going anywhere. SWIFT system is not going anywhere. Every bank, every central bank and bank around the world are connected to the SWIFT system. Central Bank of Iraq, the Federal Reserve Bank here in the United States, Vietnam's central bank, every central bank, SWIFT. SWIFT will run parallel and in conjunction with the quantum financial system. So just know SWIFT is not going anywhere. Doesn't need to. All right. Now, if you can go ahead, young lady.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1 second. Folks, there is going to be a word and a term. I got to put this out there right now. You're going to see the term redemption in this language, in this article. Please, if I could ask you to do yourself a favor and put aside whatever you thought the word redemption meant. Whatever you've been told, whatever context the word redemption was in, I need you, it's best for you to get that out of your mind. And do not contribute what you thought redemption meant to what you're about to listen to when it comes to redemptions. Go ahead, young lady.
SWIFT has completed a successful pilot for tokenized fund subscriptions and redemptions using its network. Remember, SWIFT is already ISO 222 compliant.
Now, 1 second. And we heard earlier, we're light in life. she mentioned that she wanted to know if the banks that she was vetting were ISO compliant. Folks, majority, if not all, of the banks in the U.S. are. As of November the 19th, 2023, all banks in the U.S. are ISO compliant, and the majority of the banks around the world are. ISO, International Standardized Organization. It is so important for you to know what ISO, International Standard Organization, what it means. Not only for the exchange, because it will be through XRP, which is ISO compliant. It will be through XRP, the exchanges. But the International Standard Organization is also relevant to the IQD, the VND, and every other 3-letter code of currencies that you hold. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. If you do not know that the currency that you hold has a certain code, if it's not on a specific list, that currency cannot be exchanged. It's an ISO code, ISO. We're going to get on that in a second. But when it comes to tokenized funds, this is the digital representation of the quantum financial system that Peculiar Ram is reading right now. And this is where our currency exchanges will be on. You can continue.
Okay. Tokenized fund subscriptions and redemptions can be used for foreign currency exchange, as the process can be integrated with digital foreign exchange swaps, allowing investors to seamlessly convert between different currencies when subscribing to or redeeming from a tokenized fund.
Pause. I want to pause right there. I know you're about to continue, but redeeming from a tokenized fund. It's not redeeming from a facility or a place. The context of what most people have been told redemption means is not accurate. Okay, you can continue.
Especially when the fund is denominated in a different currency than their own.
So redemptions, I'm sorry, beloved, redemptions, folks, is like redeeming from a loan, redeeming from an instrument. Redeeming, the word redemption is related to a financial instrument. I've always known this because of my understanding of the industry and the terminology. But I'm so glad Goldilocks has brought this article out relevant to our exchanges that actually gives you the correct context of redemptions versus what many have been told. You can continue.
This is particularly beneficial for real-time settlement and managing foreign exchange risks with a single transaction. Key points about using tokenized funds for Forex exchange. Smart contracts.
Smart contracts. Go ahead.
The programmable nature of smart contracts on blockchain platforms can automatically execute currency conversions when a subscription or redemption occurs, eliminating the need for separate Forex transactions.
Let me translate. Folks, our exchanges, our currency exchanges, specifically, I'm going to say the Iraqi dinar, will be done through smart contracts. This is something that you don't have to be concerned about or figure out unless you want to. This is all digital through the Ethereum platform. The Iraqi dinar will be exchanged as a smart contract. The smart contract is on the blockchain. What is the quantum financial system? Blockchain. Did you just yawn on this call, woman?
No, it wasn't me. It was my little one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, little one. Little Duda. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm putting you to sleep.
No, Judah's sleepy.
My Lord, Judah yawns loud. So the blockchain platform. So, folks, the dinar will be exchanged on smart contracts. Goldilocks has shared this before, and when Peculiar is read about automatically execute currency conversions, This is automatically executing currency exchanges. Okay, go ahead. Real-time settlement.
Real-time settlement. Tokenized funds can settle transactions almost instantly, providing immediate access to the
To
desired
the
currency.
desired currency. What this means, folks, is the exchanges will be instant, providing immediate access to the desired currency. Real-time settlements through SWIFT and the blockchain of quantum financial system, all instant. Go ahead.
Cross-border efficiency. By leveraging blockchain technology, the process can streamline cross-border transactions, reducing delays and associated costs.
Cross-border efficiency, folks, in the process can streamline cross-border transactions. In other words, cross-border exchanges. Remember, you have Iraqi dinar. You're exchanging it for US dollars. Those are two different currencies from two different countries on two different borders. That's called a cross-border transaction. You have one currency that's from one border, another from the other. You swap them out, you exchange them. That's a cross-border transaction or a cross-border exchange. And it's done efficiently on the blockchain, streamlined. Remember, the blockchain is on the quantum financial system that we briefly talked about in the beginning, from which President Donald Trump enacted the executive order in 2018 for the National Quantum Initiative Act for the QFS. So all of what we're reading right now, presented to you by Peculiar Ram, brought to you by Goldilocks, is on the quantum financial system for which Donald Trump enacted the framework his first term. You can continue.
Example scenario. A European investor wanting to invest in a US dollar denominated tokenized fund could seamlessly convert their euros to dollars at the time
Dinars.
Or dinars.
Or dong. Or dong. Or peso. Whatever. Go ahead.
At the time of subscription, all within the same transaction. Recent development. City infidelity.
Oh, did you just read that with a hum because you just caught what the name of that bank was?
Yeah.
Is that what that was? Okay.
Yeah. City Infidelity International pilot. These firms have demonstrated a proof of concept where a tokenized money market fund is combined with a digital forward swap, enabling real-time foreign exchange conversion for investors. Citibank is in Iraq.
Now, didn't you tell me that the last several meetings in the U.S., in Abu Dhabi, that J.P. Morgan Chase, Oliver Wyman International Consulting Company that's also connected to the World Trade Organization and getting countries prepared to qualify for the World Trade Organization. They're involved in this Al-Fa port and the birth thing. They were also, what other bank was in these meetings with Iraq?
Citibank.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. You can continue.
Project Guardian. This initiative by the Monetary Authority of Singapore is exploring the use of tokenized assets, including forex swaps, within the context of fund subscriptions and redemptions.
Oh my Lord, there goes that word again. Oh, redemption. So, folks, also for Citibank, remember the digital project that Goldilocks shared that Citibank released last week as well. All right, you can continue.
The project, completed in partnership with UBS Asset Management and Chainlink, would allow digital asset transactions to settle with fiat payment systems across more than across more than 11,500 financial institutions in more than 200 countries and territories, Swift said Tuesday, November 5th.
So those are 200 countries, folks. That means 200 currencies.
Ooh.
So to settle from fiat, meaning not backed by anything, So to settle with fiat payment systems across more than 11,500 financial institutions, think of the banks. Think of many banks. There's many and other financial institutions, so forth and so on, in more than 200 countries, which, folks, is 200 currencies. Okay, you can continue to the next one. 2025 is the year of international payment systems. Go ahead.
Okay, 2025 is the year of international payment systems. These payment systems include the ISO 222 messaging system that will be interfaced with the international payment systems.
1 second. International payment systems, folks, just a reminder, for example, like UPI, Universal Payment Interface, that Iraq went live when in January, created by India, whereby Vietnam, Iraq, Venezuela, and 8 other countries connected to the UPI system. That's an international payment system. BRICS Pay. BRICS Pay is their payment system. FedNow, that's the U.S. international payment system. Go ahead.
Stay tuned. These important upgrades will allow us to move forward with the QFS on a global scale.
With the QFS on a global scale. Now, right below that, we're not going to go into detail, but this is the ISO 4217 codes. Remember I mentioned we're going to talk about these ISO International Standard Organization codes. The code for the Iraqi dinar is IQD. We all know the 3-letter code IQD, but did you know that ISO International Standardized Organization code, which is the IQD, is what's called an active code? Are you aware of what's ISO 222 compliant? Are you aware that VND for the Vietnamese dong is the ISO code for the Vietnamese dong? I would encourage you all with this link that is here. I'm going to share it in the description for YouTube, to look and see for whatever currency that you have invested in and see if it's active on this list. If it's not active on this list, this ISO standard code, your currency cannot be exchanged because it's not active. I would encourage everyone to do their own homework. We've been sharing this. Wiley shared this several weeks ago. Goldilocks has been talking about this for several months. Folks, you do not want to go to your exchange and the currencies that you've invested in are not even active or listed internationally to be exchanged. If you haven't diversified, thinking that you're only going to invest in one particular currency, and you look on this list and that currency doesn't exist and doesn't have a code, an active code, meaning that the banking system doesn't even recognize it because it doesn't have an ISO code or active code. See, Peculiar Ram is prepared. She knows her currencies are already on that list. I remember her being in the room, seeing it and doing her due diligence and homework.
Absolutely.
Many of our members know the currencies they hold, whether they're on this list or not. This is international. This is not a Goldilocks list. This is not a Freedom Fighter or Wiley list. This is the international banking system list. We encourage you. With you, all you got to do for those of you listening is click on the link directly from Wikipedia, and you will scroll down to the it's called the list of ISO 4217 currency codes, and see if the currencies you invested in are active, meaning they are recognized in the banking system, recognized by SWIFT. They'll be recognized within the quantum financial system, recognized by the Federal Reserve Bank here in the U.S., recognized by the Central Bank of Iraq, so forth and so on. They're all there. See if they're active or not. I would encourage you to take a look at it. Peculiar Ram, you've been so awesome as always.
Thank you so much, Freedom Fighter. I appreciate it.
I know you're a little under the weather, and you got your little one there yawning in our ear and everything. We appreciate you multitasking, being mama and being, the superstar you are. And we're so proud of you taking your steps to establish your relationship. Thank you so much. We're going to get into some Q&A.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, beloved. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, folks, who has a question about the topics that we went over tonight? I know we went kind of long, but we had to go through this. We got these stories that we had for you all to listen to with members establishing those relationships, because you can do the same. And there's very important articles by Goldilocks. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. We will come to you. All right. Wiley. How you doing, sir?
Hey, good. I didn't catch everything. Can you hear me? Let me ask you that.
Yes. We can hear you.
Great job on the ISO code stuff. That's very important for people to understand what's tradable, what's not, what's current, what's valid. So that's a great topic on that. However, if I could, and I know you spoke of this not so much tonight, but I think it was last week, but this falls in line with the redemptions. If you could talk about the actual background checks that will be done on the exchange that Iraq put out themselves per the articles.
Yes, I'm glad you asked, folks. And this is straight directly from Iraq, where for anyone exchanging Iraqi dinar, there will be what are called due diligence procedures at your exchange. So it's a background check. It's all done digital and it's done instantly. This is because, Iraq, and also I know Iraq didn't just do this on their own. They had to get the blessings and the okay from the Department of Treasury to implement this, whereby anyone that's going to exchange dinar, when they go international, there will be a background check. This is because Iraq, and within their own laws, and I'm speaking specifically within Iraq, they want to avoid funding terrorists, anyone with nefarious, malicious intent, criminal background. And also that particular law, not only in Iraq, but also, like I said, they got the blessings of the Treasury to do the same thing for anyone globally that will be exchanging dinar. There will be an instant background check when you go to exchange it. Again, because they don't want large amounts of money to go into the hands of people specifically that has a criminal background, especially related to money. Lo and behold, someone with a criminal background that has charges or anything like that related to finance and money, and they get millions of dollars. Just imagine they'll just do what they've been doing and repeat possibly the same activities. That's the mindset. But there will be background checks so that you're aware. And it's the technical term is due diligence procedures. It will be done instantly. Did that answer your question, Wiley? Is that what you wanted to know? Do you want me to share?
It is exactly what I wanted you to kind of cover on. I think it's important to go over that piece of it because, there are nefarious folks that are in this that don't need to be, and they're not going to allow those criminal enterprises to be put on steroids and advance their business dealings.
Right. No. She-Hulk looks like she's been on a lot of steroids. I don't know. Was she included?
Yeah,
there's exceptions. There's exceptions.
Hey, she's all kale natural. I hear you.
Oh man. All right, but yeah.
Yep, I heard a little bird told me that the beginning of this call was pretty stellar. I'm kind of excited to go back and listen to the replay on it for the wealth management pieces. But I'm going to go ahead and tune out here and let you get on to the Q&A.
Okay, brother. Appreciate you, man.
I wanted you to bring that piece up. Thank you.
Oh, you got it. Awesome. All right. Who has a question? Raise your hand. If you're sure, raise your hand. So we had some great folks. I hope you pay attention to them ISO codes. Know if the currency you hold is on the active list. Or else you won't be exchanging. All right. Well, you won't be exchanging that currency. Right. I know it wasn't that detailed to not have any questions, but if so, we're going to get out of here early. Wow. Real quick, I'm going to ask Lady Unique. Lady Unique, if you can, I'm not sure if you're out at an event or if you're able to unmute, young lady. How you doing?
Good evening, everybody. I'm good. How you doing, Freedom Fighter?
Good, beloved. You were. I'm not sure if you were in the call earlier, but you inspired a few of the folks that shared their story earlier. You jumped out and did your thing. Now everybody's trying to follow your footsteps. We got even Zach and Amber. They reminded me of you. You were. I don't know if you were on earlier, but Zach and Amber shared when they went to the bank to meet with their wealth manager. He met them at the door. I'm like, man, that's white glove treatment, like Lady Unique.
All right, now that's all right. I'm proud of him. Go ahead. I did get to hear Peculiar Round.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, do it. That's awesome. That is so awesome. I got to hear her story. Yes.
Good. You've inspired so many. They're all. I believe Light in Life even mentioned you. Everyone's loving your story. You're just helping so many people by sharing your story and what you've been doing with your wealth managers and your senior bankers and vice presidents.
Well, I'm glad. And again, I can't take all the credit. Like I told you, once you all reeled me in, I said, I'm staying right here. I'm loving this guy.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to acknowledge you and let you know that they called you on there. Everyone's appreciates you.
Well, I appreciate them too. So we're gonna do this thing, y'all. We're gonna do this.
That's right.
And when you talked about ISO, I just had to go back recheck, and
to make sure your currency's on that list.
I sewed up. Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. And good night, you guys. Good to hear all the good stuff that's going on. And again, Peculiar Rand, go ahead on, girl. Do it.
Thank you. All right. Folks, if you have a question, we got about 10 more minutes. Okay. Jen, my amazing, creative, loving, funny artist, Jan.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm gonna try to re-ask the question that I tried to ask earlier in the week, and apparently I wasn't asking it correctly. Okay, so the list of active ISO 4217 currency codes is pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
So the big bank A, the list of currencies that they currently exchange, it varies day to day. They add them. I don't know if they subtract any, but they add some daily. If it has a code, will it be added at some point? And the reason I'm asking is because in addition to the most commonly talked about currencies, I have some funky currencies that were gifted to me from a company that are on the list. And so the bank, I don't know if the bank currently exchanges them or not, but I'm just wondering if they have a code, are they all going to be added to the bank's list at some point?
Not sure if all of them, but I would venture to say the majority of them, because as long as there's an active code, it will be exchanged somewhere at some bank. For example, I know 1,000%. I would venture to say that you saw that the Iraqi dinar is active, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we know that it's not international yet. So when it does go international, wouldn't you imagine that active currency of Iraqi dinar will be exchangeable at the bank?
Oh, I know it will.
And you can ask Zach and Amber about that too. But so yeah, even though there's active currencies that may, like the dinar, that is not exchangeable. Well, that's not international, I should say, just yet. We know when the time comes, it'll be there. But I'm sure there will be some of those currencies that does have an active code. I would imagine that when it's time for them to go international, certain banks will have them available. That doesn't mean that, for example, Bank A will exchange it, but Bank B won't. Different banks may exchange different currencies. That'll just be for you to find out.
Right, because I think they currently do exchange different ones. But yeah, I mean, even if I had to go to the mall and go to that little machine for these little,
those little ones that you have,
even that would be fine too. That's all I wanted to know.
As long as they're active, there will be an institution, a financial institution that I imagine, somewhere that would be able to
without traveling to that country.
Oh yeah, because they're exchanged every day anyway at exchange centers, at the airports where people are traveling every day, all day anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, push comes to shove, you just be going to the airport to exchange it.
Yeah, I'm not really going anywhere near an airport for a while, but that was a nightmare. But anyway, okay, I'm glad I asked the question in a way that you could understand me.
Yeah, I understood it better by hearing you ask it versus in the room.
And I was hoping that would be the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Joy of 5D.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I stepped away from the computer for a few minutes and I missed where you said we could get the list of the active ISO codes. Could you just repeat that, please? Thank you.
Certainly. Right in the bottom of the room, right above She-Hulk, there's did you see it says ISO 4217? Wikipedia?
Yes.
It's right at the bottom again right now. All right. You can click that link, and then you're going to scroll down to where it says list of ISO 4217 currency codes. And it says active ISO 4217 codes right there. Active.
Okay. All right. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then and then also if you continue to scroll down where it says historical ISO 4217, those are not active codes. Just an FYI. You can take a look at those too. As an FYI. All right.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. All right. And we got about 4 more minutes, or as they say down south, 4. We got about 4 more minutes. All right. Who has a question? Feel free to raise your. And that's a great question, by the way, Joy 5D. Is folks, you want to know if the currency you hold is active, meaning that you'll be able to exchange it? If I were you, I'd find out now. All right. And there's that list. That's an international list. The ISO is International Standardized Organization. It's in every banking system. Okay. And don't forget, folks, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wiley will be interviewing our beautiful, amazing brunette grand, PR, Zach and Amber, on their wealth management experiences. They're at like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th meetings. Based on the questions that Wiley has shared with the room, that so many people are just knocking out and building relationships. So next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, November 13th, right here in the room, and we'll be making sure that we share that with you between now and then to remind you, you don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it. Donna Marie, I'm coming right to you. You can unmute Donna Marie. Donna Marie, you had your hand up.
I got it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is my first time. I've been listening to you guys, and you rock.
Thank you. Thank you so
really.
much. We try. We try.
And Wiley Morgan, Wiley, I don't know if you're listening, but I knew you back in the day. I don't know if you remember Intel for You. I don't know if he's listening right now, but he used to come into that room, and I'm going back like, oh my God, 13, 14 years. And Freedom, I got to tell you, I love you and your, what do you call it? Woo foo guru.
Oh, Guru Fufu.
Yeah. Well, see, back in the day, nobody knew anything. You know, and we were all trying to put, the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
And over the years, you hook up with this one, you hook up with that one, you listen. Well, I can only speak for me. I take everything, with a grain of salt. But I know nobody has all the answers. But we could follow the right path. Right. And you guys are laying it like right out there. Okay. Why I came on the call tonight.
Oh, you got a question. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
See the way, and again, I can only speak for myself. I can only use my own discernment. But people are buying into this redemption center bullshit. Excuse my French. Okay. And what's your question about it? Okay. There aren't any redemptions, right?
Right.
It's the banks.
That's right. Okay. You got it. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you, sweetheart.
But you knew the answer. You just wanted me to tell you.
No, you know what? I wanted to talk to you. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, because I think,
But I hope I was able to answer your question though.
Yeah, no, really, thank you. I won't keep you much
You're
longer.
Welcome. All right,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
We appreciate you. All right. Thank you.
All right, you have a good Sunday.
All right, you do the same.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, folks, we are 1 minute over. If there's no more questions, we will bid you a good night. Don't forget, next Wednesday, we don't want to miss the call with Wiley and our beautiful brunette grand, Zach, and the amazing Zach and Amber, and then also PR. All right, folks, I hope this was helpful, insightful, enlightening. I think it was. In fact, I know it was. And we hope that we've done you a great service tonight. We'll see you soon. Everyone have a good night. We love you. We appreciate you. Be well. Ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.